Hi, this is Sam Raimi, the director of the Spider-Man movies. Welcome to the Spider-Man 3 weblog. During the course of this series, you'll meet some of the amazing people who helped make the movie possible.
The funnest thing about my job is I usually get the first pass, which is that there aren't any sculptures. There's no other vision of this thing. Sometimes there are storyboards, but in a lot of times there aren't even storyboards. So really it's kind of thrown into me, what would it look like? As simple as that. I really wanted it to feel like, it had that sort of viciousness, that sort of intensity. And I mean, in a way, it's a good monster movie. It sometimes can be a very odd process because you do somewhat envision it in your head, but unfortunately, everything looks cool in your head. But when you start to put it on paper, a lot of times it doesn't look as cool as you thought. So it's a real evolution process. I'll draw this realistic sort of Thomas Hayden Church, and then I'll respond to it. I'll tear it apart. I'll sort of destroy it, reform it, destroy it, and it's a really fun process to see how far you can take it. And then once you find it, then you can kind of just run with it and just go crazy. My name is E.J. Kreiser, and I'm the illustrator. My specialty is to really ground a design or an illustration in something that could work in the real world. With someone like Venom, we all really wanted to see was this just unbridled rage and intensity. Sam was adamant that this was Spider-Man's black image. In fact, the word that he would always say to me over and over and over again is tension. I want everything to feel tense. Traditionally, Venom doesn't have a web on his costume. But again, it's a real world thing. When you're making something in the real world, you have seams, you have things that need to be covered. And the webbing just kind of came out. And then it became this whole thing, oh yeah, this could be, what if the webbing was very vicious? What if it looked like it was gripping him? What if you really felt the pain of this thing on him? Maybe this webbing is since it's alive, it actually will pull Venom, so that he can actually move faster than Spider-Man.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Banks, and I play Betty Brandt.
Welcome to the Daily Bugle.
Betty plays J. Jonah Jameson's assistant at the Daily Bugle.
You're fired!
Chief, the planetarium party.
Oh, right. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
I think Betty's just one of Peter's biggest fans, in his life, and really roots for him and thinks he's a great photographer, which he is kind of amazed at all the photos he's constantly getting of Spider-Man. He's a character who needs some people in his corner, and I think Betty's somebody who's just in his corner because he's a great guy.
Hey, chin up, okay?
I think it's fun for the fans to sort of wonder, and that there's this great flirtation and friendship that's developed between the two characters, and we'll see where it leads.
The first movie started with Peter Parker telling us it was all about a girl, and the first two movies were part of his journey, and finally he got the girl.
Go get him, Tiger.
Now he has everything, so it fills him with pride. He, being a little bit full of himself and everything's going great for him, he's a little bit unaware of what her needs are. And so when things start to go wrong for her, there's a bit of a rift in the relationship, which allows, propels the narrative, I think, in terms of Mary Jane's relationship with Harry, or Peter's relationship with Gwen, who's introduced in this movie. Gwen is kind of enamored of him, and I think Peter ends up using her to make Mary Jane jealous. Classically, in the way we've done these movies, there are always complex romantic entanglements. By the end of the third movie, we will have watched Peter Parker and Mary Jane and Harry really grow up. So we tried to think, what's the next step in these people's lives? We were noodling with the character of Eddie Brock, and we had asked Topher Grace to come in and talk about the role, and he was what was written. He's fun and scary, and he's just another great addition to the ensemble.
Who are you?
It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock, Jr. I work at the Daily Bugle. And I'm dating your daughter.
Eddie Brock's kind of enamored of Gwen Stacy, so there's a lot of kind of little undertones of jealousy and competition between Eddie and Peter, and Gwen is at the apex of that. When Peter thinks everything is just great and life couldn't be better, Eddie appears as a competitor at the Bugle.
Whoa. Buddy, love the new outfit. This is exactly what I need to scoop Parker. Give me some of that web action.
Parker! You're late. Maybe too late. Bruckner here beat you to it.
It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock, Jr.
I got you this.
But he got me this.
I think in some ways Eddie Brock is the antithesis of Peter, and because they end up sharing the black suit, and it has a different effect on Peter, obviously, than it does on Eddie because of who they are. He doesn't really have the moral character that Peter has, so it feeds on something different in Eddie, and he just loves it.
Hi, I'm Grant Curtis. Today I'm going to be playing an armored car driver in an action sequence in Spider-Man 3, so why don't you follow me along as we go through hair and makeup and wardrobe and onto the set. And it's on to wardrobe. Let's shoot this thing.
I can put you on a wire. I think it's on enough of an angle, though, that if you just, on this box, do this, come here, and just let yourself, kind of fling across frame.
Yeah.
You'll be able to, okay, gravity will help you.
Good. And you want the gun all the way into the shoulder. And I'm
Yeah, you don't quite get it up there. It's like,
yeah. Good. Good. I've got a harness on. It's a little tight. It's meant to be tight and snug, but when you're already a little nervous and it's already a little bit tighter, it just makes it that much more difficult. But it's all safety. Santa's actually ground up corn they're going to dump on me. I think there's 3,000 pounds worth, but we'll see. We'll see. Piece of cake. All right. It's all good.
3, 2, 1, go!
There you go. Just like that. Keep going. More.
Pardon me while I stick my finger in your ear.
Why don't you run them down to me and I'll take them down here. It wasn't bad until you felt the pressure going up and still trying to scream as there's all the dust was in the air and just waiting for it to overtake your head. All I really had to do was stand up, but I think it was 3,000 pounds that dumped on it. And after a while, it gets a little difficult to push out. I think I just soiled myself.
There's a great bunch of guys who put cables from one building top to another as much as a half mile, 3/4 mile apart, and we fly the camera right through the city. The camera will go from 700 feet in the air to 4 feet off the ground and back up.
The SpiderCam is a whole system of winches and camera carriers, computers and software. It's really just sort of a blanket name we give to all these little tools that let us fly the camera around and move cameras and stunt people around.
Right now we're doing a couple of descender shots off the corner of the building and down about 600 and some feet. We have a couple of fairly big winches. Right now we're running a 30 horsepower winch to basically do the acceleration at the top and braking at the bottom.
So basically what it is, yeah, we've got a weight over here and a weight over there that's lower, and they're hooked together in a big system like this. And then right in the center is this winch here, which is just a big friction shift. It basically just pulls the line one way. So this is down, it just pulls it up, and this helps it pull it up, and then the other way around. So the winch isn't seeing a lot of work. It's just its whole job is just to go fast.
It's Spider with a Y, S-P-Y-D-E-R-C-A-M, and we were SpiderCam a couple of years before the first Spider-Man movie came out. But it was a nice match when we first got on the first one.
My name is Bob Mono, and I'm one of the mechanical guys. Basically, this is a an arm blade mechanism. It's one of the weapon devices for the James Franco character. And this one is functional, spring-loaded, and radio-controlled trigger. Basically what we do here is from the production concepts, we CAD design in the computer the shapes and sizes, and for pieces such as these, we fabricate all that in-house. We do the polishing and sharpening, and then we'll do a final assembly and tuning. And we also are doing a helmet and goggles, a mask assembly. There's a static version, solid. There's a stunt version, soft. And then the mechanical versions, there's one with goggles that lift solely. The other is a goggles, and the front of the mask actually travels. And that would give the kind of the beginning, the initiation of the movement, where CG would then take it from most of the way back to completely gone.
I'm Scott Rogers, the stunt coordinator. Well, we're downtown, supposed to be New York, and the Sandman this is the first time we really see him, and he's just gotten shot at by some cops. So he goes back into the sand truck that has, yards of sand, gathers it all up, and blows out of it. There's one hero camera. It's all trying to be in one shot. When you have a one big oneer, as we call it, it's a timing issue. Everything has to hit on an exact mark and an exact time. There's a guy that first leaves, he's one beat, then the next car, then there's a second car, so that's the third beat, and each car would then be another beat. It's supposed to emulate the timing of the sandstorm, so each car reacts right after the other. So we have, we have our stuntmen in the more dangerous areas. It's just plain pedestrians kind of clearing as cars fly and debris, and it's a very Sam Raimi-esque, kind of vibe going on.
Hi, I'm Grant Curtis. Today we're going to take another look behind the scenes of Spider-Man 3. When we're filming, it's extremely important that we're mobile. So today we're going to take a look at inside the trailers of our specialty costume, specialty effects, and property trailers. Come with me.
Hi there, Jim Schwam here, Special Effects Coordinator for Spider-Man 3. In this trailer here we have just about anything the director asked for. We have smoke, wind, fire, bullet hits. Can do just about anything out of here. Come on in and take a look around. Got just about any kind of tool or product they could ask for. We got all the smoke machines, welders, make snow, wind. We got 5 wind machines. Anything they ask for, we pull out on a minute's notice. Just today, for example, they asked for bricks. So we had some fake bricks. We ran some monofilament through it, hung it on the permanents, and pulled it down on wires past camera. Whew.
I'm Doug Harlacher. I'm the prop master on the movie, and this is my tractor trailer. Let's take a look inside. Come on in. This is basically how we store everything. It's all valuable to the film, but some of it needs to be more secure than others. In here we have all the weapons for the movie. This is the gold room, and this is where we try and keep things away from any prying eyes. All the personal props for the actors are locked up in this area of the truck.
How are you? I'm Shoney Smith with Frontline Design Spider-Man 3 Costumes. We'd like to invite you aboard our trailer, our home away from home, and our mobile studio. We can't take the shop with us, but we take as much as we possibly can. When you're dealing with items, a specialty is some of this stuff. It requires constant maintenance. So if we're filming 14 hours a day, we're working 24 hours a day trying to keep up with the repairs, the maintenance for that shooting. We house about 40 to 50 costumes in here. We've made obviously well over 100, but we just keep the active stuff in here, and the rest are stored in another location until we can get to them or need them. But we definitely do a lot of actual build on the trailer. We built all the costumes beforehand, but they evolve throughout shooting, so we do build quite a bit. This is one of the makeups for Topher. This is how it starts, and this is what it'll end up being by the time it makes it on film. But this is something that evolves. We have to do every day, basically, that he shoots.
Peter, in the beginning of the movie, is getting kind of this grandiose self-image where he's thinking really highly of himself, and he's kind of inviting this energy onto him.
This substance amplifies aggression. seems to like you.
We're letting Peter come to realize what it means to be a hero, and he's starting to deal with the effects of being a hero, and that is the window, the beginning of a movement toward his dark side in this picture.
The black suit gets on him and makes him feel powerful and makes him not be ambivalent about things and not think about his problems. And so he chooses it. It frightens him, but it has a pull.
What is this? Wow. This feels good. Once it attaches itself to you, it enhances those kind of more negative or darker qualities of somebody's character.
Who are you?
I don't know. I think he was primed for it personally, and then it enhances that. I think he's choosing to, wear the suit and allow it to influence his actions. I need your help.
Hi, my name is Aaron Lamb, and I'm Sam Raimi's assistant. On an average day here in the production office, I do a wide variety of tasks, anything from coordinating meetings to scheduling set visits to getting approvals from Sam. But today, I have a cameo appearance in the movie.
Marker. And action?
Essentially, I'd be in the classroom with Toby and Bryce, and I will be harassing him with this little mirror, shining in his eyes, and just kind of, just being a bully, I guess. It's a scene to kind of establish the Gwen character and Peter go to school together and stuff, and Sam just wanted to add in this kind of humorous gag where, Toby, like in the first movie, is just getting, bullied around by other classmates and stuff like that.
You're gonna first spot the geek. And action.
That only the m=0 quantum states are affected.
Correct. Good work, Miss Stacy.
All right, let's try that again.
I think initially when he put me in the movie, he was probably trying to torture me. But then I think when he got there and saw how scared I was, I think he was trying to maybe be a little nicer.
My name's Scott Rogers, and I'm the stunt coordinator.
I'm Dan Bradley. I'm the second unit director.
My responsibility, along with Dan Bradley, is to basically organize and coordinate the stunt team.
It's a wholly encompassing occupation. It tests your physical abilities, your mental abilities to figure out how to do things, and frankly, your emotional battle with fear.
3, 2, 1, go! They're scientists over there with their stunts. I mean, they've got their Go camera system, which for the first time, they are flying a actor in conjunction with flying the camera.
That's the challenge, is that we're constantly on the very cutting edge of stunts and stunt technology, just trying to, impress ourselves.
The most important part is obviously safety, but without compromising safety, to bring a level of intensity.
I want them to know that they're safe, but I also kind of want them to not feel like they're safe necessarily. Because as a director, I'd like to go ahead and capture that energy.
Dan and I like to, find the edge of what's currently possible. And, you're never really sure what that edge is.
3, 2, 1, go!
So Harry Osborn is played by James Franco, and has decided to kind of follow in his father's footsteps, and creates a new outfit based on a cross between urban SWAT troops and a kind of black knight, a knight that has a sense of armored cuirass, but with really rather nasty kind of attributes like blades that come out of his arm and a pretty sophisticated and elaborate snowboard. There's just a hint on the costume, which is mainly black, of green to kind of associate you with the Green Goblin, but basically he's very much his own man.
You knew this was coming, Pete.
I didn't kill your father!
What's happening with this film is that we go back to the comic. We've got Spidey, we've got Sandman, we've got Harry Osborn, and we've got Venom. Sandman can change shape and dissolve and appear and grow and shrink. That sort of changing character is an interesting idea. In terms of costume, it's very simple, but we're asked in this department to kind of go beyond that. So we design various stages of it, different scales of it, and I work with wonderful sculptors to create maquettes of what Sandman's going to look like in his various appearances.
It's so exciting that I can actually tell people what I play.
Whoa! Spidey, love the new outfit!
It's Brock, sir. Edward Brock Jr. I play Eddie Brock. Eddie's very similar to Peter Parker in the sense that they both work at the Daily Bugle. They're both striving for the same job, but there are also a lot of differences. On the outside, Eddie's probably a slicker individual. He uses a lot of product in his hair, but that is just an exterior, and his interior is very weak.
I come before you today, humbled and humiliated, to ask you for one thing. I want you to kill Peter Parker.
What's great is Eddie is kind of the examination of what if someone received the exact same power, Spider-Man, but was filled with bitterness and jealousy, and how would he misuse that power?
Hey, Parker.
The person I really want to please is me, because I read these comic books, and it's daunting because Venom is a fan favorite, man. So when I approach the script, I always think with great power comes great fun.
Essentially, I like to call it the air traffic controller for the set. We want controlled chaos on the podium, so nobody gets hurt, but everybody will be fleeing. I would say the first AD position is the one position where we combine logistics, bringing in the trucks when the extras come in, when the actors come in, and also creative. It's like having a huge silk up there. You don't have to thank me now. Maybe later. Perhaps a bottle of wine.
Thank you later.
And I coordinate with Bill Pope, the director of photography. We're checking the gate. Bill Pope. How was that, Henry? Good. Okay, now let me get Bill over. For example, this morning we did a 360-degree camera move, as you guys saw, that we needed the morning light for.
Eric Heffron's done Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Basically, first unit's like around 130 people. And he's got to get all these people working simultaneously to get the shot off, to make our days, to finish our film. And it's a pretty intense job.
Get up there. That's your... Don't be cruising. You're up there. Get the lead out. We're ready. So, yeah, let's move.
He's the guy that tells me when I have to wake up in the morning. So, him and I have a love-hate relationship. I love him, but I hate him when I wake up in the morning.
This is Michael Moore. I'm an assistant director on Spider-Man 3. I'm an assistant director is on set, sort of directing the flow of everything on a daily basis on set near camera.
Yeah.
Let's do a little rehearsal on video and we'll record it.
Okay.
Show it to Sam. We're here in Culver City at Sony Studios on stage 30, shooting some work on our motion base today. Ready and action. Basically, we can put our taxi there and maneuver it about 22 degrees in any direction so we can, in a safe environment, be able to have actress in the car, manipulating it in all kinds of ways that we couldn't do on the street. If ever we need to have the taxi at more than a 22-degree angle, we actually can go on this, and basically it can go 360 degrees, depending on how and where the car is rigged. As I said, it does actually go 360 degrees, and our fearless MJ tested that rig out herself.
A lot of kids would pay a quarter for this.
She's a trooper. She's doing a lot of this stunt work, things that we could do with a stunt double. She's been doing them all and doing a great job.
Action. Cut.
All right, thanks everybody for checking us out, and look for this sequence in the movie. Thanks.
When you build a digital actor, you want to build the best digital actor you can possibly build. We have several things that we do at the very beginning. We scan the character. We take lots of texture reference. We tried some motion capture tests to kind of see what their facial motion was like. And finally, we also gathered information on the way their skin reacts to light.
Some of the earliest things from experience on the Spider-Man movies we knew we needed to get a head start on were the creation of our digital characters. And we again worked with the Institute of Creative Technology and Paul Debevic's group there to capture our actors.
My name is Paul Debevic, and I'm the light stage supervisor for the film. And something that's being done for the first time here on Spider-Man 3 is to use this device. In this device here, we turn all the lights on at the same time to illuminate the real characters in their original costumes with live reproductions of the illumination.
Environment number 6, St. Peter's, half a second.
And when we drive it with a lighting environment, they're all different colors and intensities according to that light in the environment.
Downstairs is about capturing every possible lighting position on the actor, and this is about taking an environment that we captured on set and projecting it onto the actor. And then when we do our CG version, we're going to put it side by side with what we've got here to see how well our whole system works.
My name is Rachel Watkins. I'm an assistant location manager on Spider-Man 3, and today we are filming at the Greystone Mansion in the heart of Beverly Hills. It was built about 1928. All of the wood arches and the wood staircase were carved in place. It sits atop a huge hill. The feeling of the house is that it looks very much the interior of a New York high-class mansion. This was in Spider-Man 1, and it was the Osborn Mansion, the Green Goblin. This was his penthouse in New York. We started off today in the main entrance, down marble stairs into a marble foyer. Now we're also in the kitchen, which the kitchen has 3 huge rooms to it, but we're only in one part of the kitchen.
It's okay.
I'm primarily in charge of the mechanical effects. Generally, if it moves, we're responsible for it. We work real close with the digital effects group so that we're not overlapping, and then we decide through a series of meetings what's best for the shot. And this is the most water dumped on one particular scene. So we're kind of setting a record here. There's 40,000 gallons of water in one shot, which is it's a lot of power. It'll take the set apart 50 feet away. On a gag like this, what you don't see here is all the tests that we've done. And at my facility in Sun Valley, we've tested this gag probably half a dozen times. So that's why we know the force of the water.
Here we go, on my go, and 3, 2, 1, go!
My own name is Rosemary Harris, and I have the great privilege of playing Aunt May. She's on her own now. She's struggling, I think, to manage without Ben, but she had to sell her house. She had to pack up. And now in Spider-Man 3, we get to see her little apartment. It's beautifully done. It's adorable. I just don't know how the people that dress the sets, they know so much about human nature, because there on the kitchen table are some coupons she's been clipping with her cookies that she's made, and she's managing like a lot of people have to when they lose their loved one. Peter comes at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Peter, what is it? It's MJ. I'm gonna ask her to marry me.
Oh, Peter! Oh!
Then I have some second thoughts a little bit because I realize how exciting it is for him to be getting married, but is he really in a position to take care of his responsibilities?
A man has to be understanding and put his wife before himself. Can you do that, Peter?
Yeah, I think I can.
And then you have my blessing.
Well, my name is Bryce Dallas Howard, and I play Gwen Stacy. She's a model, and she's studying to be a scientist.
Miss Stacy?
That only the m=0 quantum states are affected.
Correct. Good work, Miss Stacy.
She comes from a very good family. She's very happy. She's Captain Stacy's daughter.
Get Edison on the phone. Have them kill the power to the whole block.
Peter Parker is Gwen Stacy's tutor at Empire University in physics class, and she's not very good at science. You know, I think she's an intelligent girl, but she's really doing it for her father, Captain Stacy. But Peter Parker reaches out to her and helps her get through the course, and I think they form an interesting flirtation. She does have a slight problem with men. She doesn't quite know that she can charm men, and men happen to fall for her, and it's not really nice, and she leads them on quite a bit, and then bad things happen.
He's a fairly emotionally isolated loner who has a pretty dark past. I'm just here to see my daughter.
You are an escaped convict. You maybe even killed a man.
I had good reason for what I was doing. He's a guy that spent a number of years in prison for crimes committed against society. But then he breaks out of prison. He is fused molecularly with sand. What becomes apparent is he has various levels of invulnerability. There's a whole undercurrent that's much more kind of humanely intimate to him. He still has this kind of steady pursuit of saving his daughter. I missed you.
I miss you too, Daddy.
I'll make you healthy again. Whatever it takes. I'll get the money. I see it as an honor. These movies stand tall in the pantheon of superhero movies. Many are called, few are chosen. And I'm proud to be one of the few.
You know, we had a very challenging, large car sequence with a full-size runaway armored car. It weighs 15,000 pounds, and at 35 miles an hour, it hits, 2 or 3 cars. Nothing stops this armored car.
It's quite an orchestra of, all the different, departments between the visual effects, along with the special effects crew and how they're going to move things. And okay, they got wires running here to pull the cars, and then we have our people. So we got to be clear of, okay, this car is going to go from here to here, and what's safe and what's not safe. And then you got to work with camera so that they capture all the moments. It becomes quite a dance between all the departments, especially for that large of a shot.
On the armored car sequence, I needed to slow a car down from 40 miles an hour to 0 at the side of a garbage truck, with cameras in the front of it, so obviously there's no crash allowed. And we had to be at speed up until about 40 feet from the truck. And it's like, well, how are we going to do that? I went back to my climbing days as a college student and said, they used to have these screamers that if you were to accidentally fall, there's a screamer or fall arrestor there that would take a certain amount of energy to tear through each row of stitching. So it's a decelerator in a sense. And I said, let's just build a car-sized one.
Camera and action.
say, you know, there are times in the doing the armored car sequence, there were shots that I set up I did when I was, 10 with my Matchbox cars, and now they're real-sized cars, and the cops are holding traffic for me. It's fantastic.
This is the new generation glider. It's called the Sky Stick. Here's the older generation. This was made for Harry Osborn, who's pretty much carrying the mantle of his father.
Dad? Avenge me.
And he becomes the nemesis of Spider-Man. When this flies, all the rotors move, his feet get sucked onto here. It's got a video display. As the engine moves, the direction of the board moves. This is all servo controlled. We made different versions of this board. One that rides on a fluid head gimbal and is counterbalanced and basically moves him in front of a blue screen effortlessly. We made a lighter weight one, and that is for wire flying. So stunts can take that 60 feet in the air. But it can fly around again very effortlessly. The same thrusting power that exists in that exists in this.
It's been fun coming back to these films and getting to revisit Hoffman and these characters.
Hoffman!
Yeah. Hoffman is a guy who probably has 3 different MBAs and probably hasn't got a brain cell in the bunch. He's your button-down dope.
Food poisoning scare, Sweep City.
Some food got poisoned?
I'm a little nauseous, yeah.
Hoffman's lucky if he gets to work on time and that nobody's, probably put tax on his seat.
Move Conway to page 7.
There's a problem with page 7.
I make it page 8 and give him 10% off. Okay. I make it 5%.
That can't be done.
Get out of here!
It is fun to be able to bring in humor into Spider-Man because Peter Parker's plight is so heavy-handed. It's such a classic tragedy. When you do bring in humor, it's like throwing a pie in King Lear's face. It shouldn't be there, but you get to be the guy to throw it. So it's great.
How are you? I'm Shoney Smith with Frontline Design, where we're manufacturing the specialty costumes for Spider-Man 3. We're in the foam room here where any of our molds that require foam latex to be ran in, these gentlemen and sometimes ladies will go ahead and do that process of running the foam into the molds, which will then go into the oven and be baked out. And this is the way it would come out of the mold before it's been seamed or burned. When the foam running process is complete, the foam latex would make its way over to the seaming department where these ladies and gentlemen would do the burning and cutting of the webs.
My name is Vivian Cho, and I seam the webs for the Spider-Man suit. This is a chest piece, and it's already been cut and burned. So right now what I'm doing is applying glue on it that will make the graphite stick to the web.
My name is Tim Leach, and I'm the seaming and painting supervisor for the web pieces that are part of Spider-Man 3. Each suit has 25 separate pieces for it. The graphite transfers onto the adhesive, and then we go in and we clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up after that.
This is what the webbing would look like after the graphite has been painted on the surface, and this is the final stage before gluing it down to the suit.
I'm Grant Curtis, and we're on stage 27 on the Sony Pictures lot in beautiful Culver City. We're filming our final battle sequence for Spider-Man 3. And as you can see as you look around, there's a massive amount of electricity that goes into filming a scene like this. At the push of a button, Bill Pope needs to be able to light any light that he needs to on set. The blue screen needs to go away. A New York City backdrop needs to come down. The elevator needs to come up from the 1st floor to the 4th floor. It's all electronic, and it's all on winches and motors. And to do that, we have to pump in a massive amount of electricity. Let's go up another 40 feet, 80 feet up in the air, up in the perms for a tour.
My name is Frank Dorowski. I'm the electrical rigging gaffer on Spider-Man 3. We're up high on stage 27. It's about 80 feet in the air above the construction set. Well, we have about 160 lights, pulling approximately about 12,000 amps of power.
I'm going to hang out up here until you tell me if that intensity looks better.
Copy. I should know here in just a minute.
I'm Ziggy Padone, and I do electrical rigging on Spider-Man 3.
My name's Christian Killingsworth. I do electrical rigging.
Renzo Bartolota, rigging as well. Every lamp has its own lead, and so many hundred lamps, so many leads that have to come up here, get circuited to the lamp, numbered individually, dropped 80 feet down the wall, as we call the waterfall. This big, massive cable. The waterfall is the same thing, only going down the wall. It goes out a mouse hole to our dimmer rack. Every lamp's got 200 or 300 feet of cable at 100 feet per. So when we wrap these things up, 100 feet is a good 100 pounds of cable, just 100-foot length. And so there's a lot of cable up here, a lot.
There are all of the cables coming down from the waterfall that we showed you upstairs. What this does is it keeps it cooler, keeps it closer up against the wall so people have room for their equipment also.
We're inside the dimmer room outside stage 27, and the dimmers control all the lighting up top. If you look around us, we have cable everywhere. Everything's labeled and numbered so we can trace it out in case of a problem.
That's it for today. I hope you had fun with Frank and his guys. Please join us on the website next week for another informative and entertaining webisode. Hi, I'm Grant Curtis. I'm one of the producers of Spider-Man 3, and welcome to the Green Goblin Lair set. The set was originally built and designed by Neil Spisak for Spider-Man 2, but at that time we knew a little bit of an outline of the story for Spider-Man 3. We knew it would be called on again, so we disassembled it after we were done filming Spider-Man 2, stored it, and put it back together for Spider-Man 3. I'm now standing in front of the Green Goblin gas chamber, similar to the one that we used in Spider-Man 1 to transform Norman Osborn into the Goblin for that picture. In this film, it'll be used to transform Harry Osborn into the new Goblin, after which he will become one of Spider-Man's arch villains for this picture. Later today, we're going to be filming a major action stunt sequence led by Dan Bradley and Scott Rogers on this set.
And action!
Hi, my name's George, and I'm the webmaster. Well, this is the latest blueprint that shows what they're looking for. As you can see, there's trees, 5 trees, and then our lines will run through the trees and to our web net. And then what we'll do is we'll take little thin lines of the same stuff, and we'll pull it to the trees and make it look like he's connected it at all specific points. I've been probably working on this web for about 2 months. Right here, you'll notice this is thicker than down here. Because what happens is this piece of cord comes around the eye, goes through like this, and then goes back inside like a snake swallowing its own tail. And literally what holds this thing from slipping is just like a Chinese finger trap. The thing shrinks down around the rope, and it takes an incredible load. So yeah, there's not a single knot in this as far as the structure goes. The biggest thing is keeping people going in and out the right way. Because although it'll probably take it, if you step on one line, that's when it's going to fail. Even if this were perfectly safe, you'd still want to make sure that they're harnessed and lower them down in.
Camera and action.
This is my third Spider-Man now. Because people come up to me and they say, you know, I saw your cameo in Spider-Man. And I'm like, well, when you say cameo, you're inferring that it's not an important role, like the milkman or whatever. But in the first Spider-Man, I named the character.
The Amazing Spider-Man!
Without my character, this billion-dollar franchise would be called the Human Spider.
The Human Spider, that's it? That's the best you got?
The second Spider-Man, I defeated the character.
No one will be seated after the doors are closed. It helps maintain the illusion.
No one has ever defeated Spider-Man before, but did he get into the movie theater? No. So I named him and I defeated him. And in the third one, you think I'm going to tell you?
The scene tonight is Marco's atomization, where it's everything that leads up to the creation of Sandman as a villain. Basically, it's stunt work, a bunch of mechanical effects to put fog into there, and dogs chasing the actor.
My name is Christy Mealy. I work for Animal Actors of Hollywood, and we're providing dogs for the sequence. We're using Shepherds, German Shepherds, and Belgian Malinois dogs. We had an audition with dogs, and we had most of the large, ferocious-looking breeds, Rottweilers, Dobermans, the Shepherds. We trained the dogs to work together, mostly as a pack, so that they wouldn't interact aggressively with each other. And we trained them to pull, so they looked like they were hunting a quarry. Lots of snarling and snapping, and it's movie magic. They look aggressive, but they're actually not. It is a plaything for them. I mean, in their minds, the prey drive becomes a play drive.
I'm Dennis Stewart. I'm the production manager on Spider-Man 3, and we're in Cleveland, Ohio.
We're on Euclid Avenue. Euclid Avenue is one of the major east-west thoroughfares going through downtown Cleveland.
And action!
It was built in roughly the same era as a lot of New York City. We're blocking off this 18-block stretch here.
It's really not feasible to control a street like this in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. Most major cities completely rejected the idea.
In order for Dan Bradley to do his precision driving work, they really needed a smooth surface, and so Mayor Jackson agreed to repave most of Euclid Avenue so that the production could get what it needed in terms of road smoothness. Spider-Man 3 actually used the Cleveland Convention Center as a full auto shop, welding and painting, removing transmissions from 60 autos that were shipped here from California. They did offices, wardrobe, and art department in the convention center and stored 25 trucks and trailers inside in a secured area.